My girlfriend, yeah, through thick and thin. My girlfriend.
Hey girlfriends, and welcome to Girlfriends Unscripted. Today we're here to have a real conversation, real growth, real laugh, and real things that we all can learn from. But this isn't just any episode. This is our season 1 finale. And boy, what a journey that's been. And we couldn't close out the season without bringing in some powerful voices. So we brought two amazing women to join in the conversation with us. We have Courtney Wright, who's an awesome and amazing trainer. So if you're watching this episode and you're ready to get fit, just hit the comments and you can get her information. And also, we have the lovely Darnisha, who has just a powerful mind, and she'll be able to add so much substance to the conversation. So this is going to be real, it's going to be honest, and it's definitely a conversation you don't want to miss. So relax, get the popcorn, and join in on the conversation. Let's get into it. All right. Season 1 took us through so much. We went through friendships, relationships, motherhood, mental health. And so before we get into it, what conversation this season hit you the hardest and why? We'll start with you and then go around to them and then me. I think relationship hit me the hardest this season because I was really like kind of going through relationship drama, relationship getting back, getting out, getting back. So I think that one is the one that really kind of put me in a place, like put me in my place too at times too. So yeah. Okay.
For me, I'd have to say the motherhood episode because it shows balance and how you can actually, by applying that to your life, just what you said, when you get overwhelmed or overstimulated and you want perfection, but you got to find balance when you're trying to run a business or you're going to work and that mom guilt is real.
Yeah.
Really focusing on...
just really focusing on how you can manage both. Like it's important to manage both because if you don't, then you don't have any time left for yourself.
And then you're just burnt out because with kids, your quality of your time is quality. But what good is it if you're all burnt out and flat and not paying attention to what they need?
You gotta take your mom.
It's the quality of the time that they remember, not the burnt out mom sitting on the couch like this is it. I'm tired. Go ahead, run around. You know
That's real. Clock that T. All right. What about you?
I think actually all the episodes are relevant to where I'm at, I feel like, in life. Relationships, balancing motherhood and responsibilities, and also, like, I think healing while still showing up was really good, too. I think we're always going through phases where we are trying to recover or grow from things, and then when you can't just crawl into a hole and figure it out. You have to still keep it moving. So finding that balance while doing that is very important. Yeah.
I think for me, the episode that really hit home was the friendship episode. And it's because I've always been a person that values friendships, and I've always been a person that puts my friendships on a pedestal. So this episode kind of humbled me because I had to accept things that were and really just go forward with knowing that's what that was. And it's okay, and it doesn't have to be any issues or any beef or anything, but identifying those red flags and just saying, okay, that's something I don't want to deal with in a friendship, and moving forward in that. So I think that episode really is what hit the hardest for me. I think they were all good. They all had some pointers and some stuff you could take away. But if I was to pick one that really stood out to me, it would be I do honestly love that friendship episode because that was our motivation, honestly, for the whole podcast, was that friendship episode, because the changes we were going through in life and still trying to balance, friends. I think that was another one of my very, very favorite.
Yeah, that one was good too.
I love that one. So when you think about who you were at the beginning of this season versus now, I think there was a lot of conversations that shifted my mentality. And just going through them, I know, when we saw the episode topics and we went through that, it was just kind of like, okay, that's a topic. But listening to it made it real, and it made it okay, this is something that I could work on. Me, for myself, the soft life. I don't ever have a soft life, and then making the soft life attainable in real life, and not just the, you know how they go to the spas and all of the stuff they say soft life is, like, really, how can I make my life soft without like the Instagram soft life, but a real soft life for me? So it's just kind of made me aware of specific things that maybe we just look over, or maybe we don't have a name to it. We don't put a name to it. We just feel it. But now, like, going through season 1 is like kind of put a name to it.
Yeah. For me, I would say the forgiveness episode, kind of like, because in that episode, I was like, I don't need to forgive nobody. I don't need to care about nobody. If you did it, you did it, and so
And
what?
you did what you did.
And I'm done with that. I ain't holding it, and I ain't letting it go. So I do want to say, like, looking back at me on that episode, I did kind of like be like, okay, I'm lying. I'm not lying, but I'm putting sugar on it a little bit, because I don't want to be that person to where I'm like, if you hurt me, I'm just gonna X you out.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not gonna, sit up on it. Long as if I don't see you, you don't matter. I don't want to be that person. I do want to, like, truly have forgiveness in my heart for people, because that is truly something that I do struggle with, but I try to block it out. So I think me right now, in today, not yesterday, but today, I can honestly say that I can be like, all right, that's cool. I forgive you for what you've done, and also hold myself accountable for what I've done.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, oh, that hurt you? I'm so sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I do want to hold myself accountable for the things that I do, and also forgive. So I think that for me now, today, I'm going to say that I have...
In here today.
Yeah. For that one. What about you, Courtney?
For me, it was the forgiveness as well.
Yeah.
That was something I really struggled with. Like, I'd be like, I forgive you, but in the back of my head, I'd be like, ooh, what is this?
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, but that basically expecting people to change on my terms when it's really on their terms, and being forgiving for what they're doing and giving them the same grace I would want, and not getting so frustrated when they cross the boundaries, instead of reassuring that the boundaries are there and there to be respected, but not letting my triggers be their fault, because that was my responsibility for that. You know what I mean? So for me, forgiveness through the season, because when you touched on it, I was like, oh, this is speaking to me.
And that was good, because we did talk about sometimes it's our triggers that make us feel like people are offending us, but it's really not an offense.
Yeah.
No.
It's our triggers.
It's really triggering us, and then we forgive it, and then it brings it all up again, and they're like, what did I do?
Yeah.
I'm trying to show you I'm better, but it's triggering me again.
Yeah.
And then I have to apologize and be like, look, it was my bad. I should have never talked to you that way. I apologize. That trigger was mine, not yours, because you have moved forward past that.
Yes.
That's good.
Okay, Courtney, you've really been watching all the episodes.
I told you. I like it because the conversations that are taking place, people aren't talking about real conversations.
Yeah.
Candy Coated, this is real
This
stuff.
is real
I feel like...
conversation.
Yeah, that's true. I love that.
Me, I would probably say the same thing she said, the soft girl. Not there yet.
As long as you're working.
Work in progress.
We'll
Yes,
see.
ma'am.
Yeah. But it's just that, I think, a program to being in just survival mode. And just sometimes we fall into that, like, like pilot drive, where you're just going and going and going. And I do find myself recently, like, hitting, like, brick walls a lot. So I know that it's something that I really need to seek that balance in, because it does affect you after a while. You can't be on autopilot for so long.
Yeah, you get burnt out.
And, like, I remember when we did that episode, Ashley was like, well, I'm going to ask you for help. Like, if you see I need help. But then part of it is asking for help and relinquishing that control. Hey, can you help me with this? And letting it go, and however they do it, however they get it done, it's how they got it done. It's out of my hands now.
Right.
So that's kind of part of stepping into that soft life. It's not literally like what a thing. It's like... You have to embrace it. So that's what I learned, is that, here, you could do it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, go ahead.
That's that.
Go ahead and do it. And don't
be so controlling. And that's what it also
relinquishing
in that. Exactly. So.
Yeah. The need for control, and that's why we can't relax, is because it's like, we kind of want it done a specific way, but when you give it up, you got to let them do whatever way they want to do it.
Whatever way it turns out, you have to be okay with it. Your expectations, you gotta just let it go.
Be impatient too, where it's like, if the slightest hesitation, like, give me a second. That's all right.
Never mind, I got it.
And I ain't asking for near, not nothing else.
I think that comes a lot too from being in survival mode.
Yes.
Like, I got to do it. It's sink or swim.
Right.
If you ain't take that trash out, I'm swinging.
In 30 seconds, I'm already in there taking it out.
If it don't get done, if I don't do it, it's not gonna get done.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so this is a great conversation. I'm just so happy and smiling. Was there an episode that you had to check yourself, like, oh, I'm talking to myself right now, like this is for me?
Yeah. I want to say. Skip me and come back. Go, Courtney.
I would have to say the friendships after 30 because when that circle changed for me, it was a big difference.
Yeah.
People don't act the same once you start growing in different areas in your life, and we're not as available as you once were. So when you start to turn into yourself and fill your own cup up so that the best version of you can step forward, it's a different atmosphere in what comes to you.
You ain't wrong.
That's what's
You ain't wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for those that are watching and also for us in here, I'm going to go down the titles of the episode so we can just tune our brain into which episode was like, oh yeah, that episode. So episode 1 was Friendships After 30 and Surviving the Transition Seasons. Episode 2 was Soft Girl Era. Episode 3 was Situationship Standards and Self-Respect. 4 was Healing While Still Showing Up for Everybody. 5 was Soft Girl Era. 6 was Forgiving Without the Apology. 7 was Money, Partners, and Mental Health. 8 was Motherhood Unfiltered. 9 was Love After Heartbreak and Learning to Trust Again. 10 was Emotional Responsibility. We also did have a Love versus Lust episode. That was our special. And then the newly released Faith and Identity, Finding Yourself When Life Forces You to Grow. So those are all the episodes that we went through. So looking at all of those topics and everything like that, I think for me, unless you're ready to go.
Oh yeah, I can go.
Go ahead, because I think I've seen her. She was like, so go ahead. Go ahead, girl.
I think the emotional response one was really good too. Especially like I think for me, my marriage. Sometimes we don't communicate. We expect our partner to read our minds, and we do it subconsciously sometimes.
Yeah.
And then we're walking around all this frustration, and it's like, well, you didn't completely
Communicate what you
wanted.
needed.
You just, or because we're used to doing things a certain way, and it's like, well, you're here paying attention. You don't know how it gets done. It's supposed to happen at this time, and a lot of
That's
times
real.
they're oblivious.
Yeah.
So and it is pride too, because we'll feel like, well, I shouldn't have to tell you. You should know what to do.
Yeah.
But we do have to communicate.
And I think it comes from, like, if you're a person that's observant, so you know what they need.
Exactly.
And so then we expect them to know what we need, but they're not us, right? So that's an issue that
leads to disappointment of expectations that didn't even really exist. You put them on somebody else.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes, that's true, because we're expecting them to be us.
To be like how we are.
And they're not. And so that's why you do have to communicate and have effective communication, and just not expect them to know or not expect them to do, like, hey, I need you to do this, or when you do that, it makes me feel this way. Because a lot of times people who are not emotionally mature don't understand that what they're doing is triggering. And so if you communicate it, then, you know, it's like, okay, you're aware that this is how this makes me feel, so don't do that.
Right.
So I think that was a really good episode.
Yes, that was.
What was I gonna say? Actually, I had a thought.
I'm ready for mine. I think mine was that one for sure, but because you said that one, I'm gonna go to the healing while still showing up for others, because I feel like I had to deal with that last year, and I had shut down. Like I was going and going and going for like the last 3-4 years and still trying to heal myself, and then being like, no, I'm not doing it no more. Don't ask me nothing. I can't talk to you. I can't help you. So literally lay in my bubble and because I was literally tapped out, because I did not take that moment like when my mom passed away to heal. I didn't have that moment to be like, okay, you know, I'm gonna sit in this for a day, and then or a week or a month, and then I'm gonna. So I had to pick straight back up. So I think that for that episode, that one was for me, because I had to self-check myself, because I did shut down on my whole house. Like, I don't know what's for dinner. I don't know. You know,
I do agree. That's an episode I could relate
to, being that I always was giving, and I never took the time for myself. And recently, it wasn't until the house fire that I found to know, like, thanks. And not feeling bad for not showing up for other people because I can't even show up for myself right now. So, no, I can't be there. I can't do that. But I will pick love after heartbreak, learning to trust again. And not necessarily because I've had a heartbreak, but because I have these boundaries set up. And sometimes it can be self-sabotage. And so that's why I picked that one because, like, if I see a half of a red flag, and maybe, no, seriously, I'm just like, I'm like, you not doing that. And sometimes, it could be unrealistic, like the situation when I was just like, oh, they cut off. But she literally was like, right before we started that episode, to record that episode, she's like, this person said that they were going to see me today, and they didn't, so done with that. Like, but honestly, like, it's like, and it's done. I'm like, could have been sick. Okay, let me tell you something. Why did it happen that way? It's because we're talking about this guy. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come to church. You tell me you come to church and you ain't gonna come to church. You exit out. No. That's a no call, no show. She's like, next. Call, no show. You get fired for that. You hear what I'm saying? So maybe just bringing that down a little bit and having grace and, being in a position to understand. But that's why
I'm in a probation period.
Yeah, probation. You're on probation.
You're 90 days.
90 days. That's it. Do not play a game with me in these 90 days. You know what I'm saying? But so that's why that one stood out to me because it's just like, don't play a game. You look like you playing. It sounds like you playing. Look at his haircut. He probably playing. And then also for real, like recognizing my triggers, like recognizing that I dealt with somebody who did not show up, who was not consistent, who was a liar, who would say they were doing something and was doing something else. So now when I'm with somebody else in a relationship and maybe they missed their phone call because they really were doing something exactly what they said.
They didn't hear it.
Or they didn't hear it. Like, but just in the back of my mind, like, because the way you miss
what
calls,
they're doing.
You can't do that. The way you miss calls, you got to really think, like, maybe they was doing what I was doing. Grace. It's all about grace, right?
Just a little, Grace. Just a little.
Grace. It's all about grace. Okay, this season we literally talked about love, heartbreak, situationships, and emotional responsibility. What lessons about relationships have you learned? Or do I wish more people understood?
Yes.
What lesson do I wish people understood more? I think that the biggest lesson is if they wanted to, they would. And if they don't want to, then they won't. And so that is the biggest lesson, just based off of like everything, figuring out situationships, love versus lust, finding out is this relationship for me? Is this person for me? Are they loving me in my love language? The biggest takeaway is if they wanted to, they would. Because when you care about somebody, you want them to be happy. You want to see them happy. You want to see their success. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be the perfect person for them, but you're not going to intentionally do something to hurt them. You know what I'm saying? So I would say if they want to, they will. For me, I think I would talk about the love versus lust. That... love can honestly grow. Yeah. That's it. Love. So when you say love can grow like from where or from what?
From day to day or like?
No, I'm just kidding. From a little tiny. No, I'm just kidding. And then if you say like love can grow, at what cost?
Yeah.
Like, at what cost can it grow? I don't know. I feel like honestly, maybe. Being emotionally irresponsible and then trying to like be in a relationship when you're emotionally irresponsible, then you kind of like, you have to grow from that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm emotionally irresponsible and you're emotionally irresponsible, this is an emotional irresponsible relationship, and you gotta like, it has to be the two of you trying to grow into that relationship to make a difference. Like, we can start off as two emotionally irresponsible people, or lusting each other, and then it can grow into something else. Like, love will grow eventually to something. Well, how long is eventually? That's what kind of... Is it a 90-day period? That's what, when we were going back and forth on that episode, Love versus Lust, what really, to me, if it, like, I can willing to meet in the middle with you to say that love can turn into lust. And love turning into lust has to be two intentional individuals identifying, like, hey, we started off as this, but let's now, I want to be serious with you, you want to be serious with me, let's be serious together. And then, you know, it says when we were a child, we think like a child, we spoke like a child, we act like a child. But when we became whatever, I'm not going to quote the scripture because I don't got it right, we put the childish things away. Yeah. And so that's kind of like how love versus lust. When we were lusting, when we were hanging out, we were just chilling and hanging out. We were just chilling and hanging out. But when we both made an executive decision that we're going to be serious about each other, you put the childish things away. So that's why it can turn if both people turn. But it cannot turn into love if one person is saying, you know, you could say a thing, but not following through with that thing. So that's where I have because sometimes people get caught up in lust and they feel like it's love. Yeah, and true. They stay there for so long because they feel like it's love, this feeling. But feelings are not always true. But our feelings sometimes can lie because we've been with this person. We've become intimate with this person. We've had these difficult situations together with this person. But that does not change that was just lust. It don't turn it into love. And so we can feel like it's love, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is, unless both people. But that was the point there, though, like that it could do that. I think I'm willing to meet you halfway there. Halfway. Yeah. Halfway. What?
I would say from experience, and I think just what we see now generationally with how a lot of young people are approaching relationships, they're approaching them situationally, situationships first, and on the hopes that it will turn into love. And I would say that 89% of the time it does not.
I think it's because you're both going in blindly, though. Yeah. Well, that's what lust is.
Right.
I think we're saying that.
There's no intentionality. There's no intentionality, though. Yeah. That's the thing, and no responsibility. There's no, and it's really like a characteral thing. Like they don't have the character to want to stay and build. And why would they, in a sense, if
they don't have
it? You don't have to. Yeah. I don't have to. I could be reckless. I could be as irresponsible as I want to be, and reap all the benefits, but have no accountability. Does that sound like something that, you know, who would want to be responsible?
Who would want that, huh?
Who would want that?
Yeah. Yeah, true. All right, it's you, Courtney.
I say loving with patience and understanding, because a lot of people, like she said, they don't have the same patience they used to have for just when your partner messes up or they're not perfect that day, just allowing space for growth. Because as we grow in relationships, they change, like the circumstances change, communication change, the person's identity changes, and just being patient with them and loving them through the hard parts. Because people want to be like, that's it, I'm done, moving on to the next partner. Yeah. Like, grass is greener on the other side, but it's green where you water it. And put your effort in. And sometimes it's loving somebody in their worst and coming to the forefront and understanding, I'm not going to always be perfect, but I'm going to love you with your mistakes. I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to be supportive of you, even when you're at your low, and love you anyways.
Just agape sometimes.
Yeah, you got to come in wholeheartedly.
What are the limits, though?
Limits? Well,
yeah, what are the limits in that? Like,
what do you mean? Like, as a limit, like what someone can do to you?
Yeah, like, I love people.
But people are going to make mistakes.
And they're going to make mistakes, but then there's some mistakes that, in love, do you think that some mistakes are off limits?
They can be, but the people can also grow, especially like if you get married young. A lot of people don't have the emotional maturity to sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to do this, and the other partner will respond, well, you're doing this, I'm doing this. So it doesn't, as they grow through the process, you get to know your partner in a different way. Yeah. But expectations come in when you see Instagram and all this, I should relationship look like this, he should buy me a yacht, he should do this. Well, you guys got to have a starting point and build together.
And it don't even be real. Like, my daughter, I said, oh, he bought her a car. And I said, how old are they? They 17. He didn't buy her no car. Like, that's fake. What you was about to say? No, I just loved her response to that. Yeah. I did. Because I think a lot of times I have a lot to say, and it just does not come out the way she said, kind of like what I needed to say. So I did, like, it'll all be like buffering in my head, and then when she said it, I was like,
it's like living through the storm. Like, in marriage, I've learned that you're going to see the best of somebody, and you're going to see the ugliest, but you're also going to see growth. So you got to lead with patience that way.
Yeah, and I think, like, a key important thing is that you said growth. Like, there has to be...
They grow, because you're constantly
They have to grow, right?
Yeah.
And and they can't keep repeating the same cycle.
No.
Like I remember one of the relationships I was in, I'm like a highly forgiving person.
Oh, yeah.
Probably like too forgiving. Like I deal with a lot of stuff before I be like, all right, it'd be like heavy straws, but then like one little
It'd be the last one, they don't even know it's
that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I think that for me, I forgive, but then there's some things where it's like I can forgive, but you also have to turn from that.
Yeah.
So you can't keep doing the same thing. Like there should be something new that now I'm forgiving you for that and that's all in love and well and good. Like, okay, you used to leave the toilet seat up. That irritated me, you know.
Those little things
But that little thing, right?
They add up if there's no communication.
And you ain't saying nothing, right? So toilet seat, boom. All right, I don't like whatever. And then you do that, whatever. And then I bring it to your attention and then boom. But then relationships are complicated. So it's even deeper than that. Like maybe you stonewall me when we get upset, and I don't like stonewalling. It brings up a trigger or a childhood trauma. It makes me feel abandoned, right? And so I'm telling you that I don't like that. And now we get past the stonewalling, and that stonewalling shouldn't keep happening if I'm voicing that this is something that triggers me, or this is something that brings up trauma in me, right? So how do you continue
But you gotta
going?
understand, people are gonna relapse back into their old patterns, and that's where your patience come with. And with love, it's gonna be patient. If you're not patient and leading with kindness by the same example you want, people are gonna make mistakes, and you gotta definitely leave room for that. But everybody has their own boundaries and perspective of where they want to be. But it's also when you sit and they make mistakes, it's having those hard conversations where they're like, "Hey, you messed up this time. It really made me feel like this. I understand," without yelling, without screaming, but also hearing their perspective why they keep falling into the same patterns.
Right. And
You know what I mean?
I honestly love that. Because, that's
it happens. Because there's going to be times you're going to have to ask for grace in a relationship and you messed up, you'll be like, "Ooh, I'm in trouble now." But it's give and take in a relationship.
Well, I've learned too that in relationships a lot of times we can be both the victim and the perpetrator.
Agreed.
Today is them doing it.
Yep.
You go ahead, and then you mess around. Oops, tomorrow it was you.
I think a lot of times
You're like, "My bad." But it's also giving an apology when you messed up and taking accountability.
For me, I think a lot of times in my relationship, I do not hear what the other person is saying. So if you're telling me like, and I'm just like, "But you did this." And that, that'd be like the bottom line. Yeah. But sometimes I feel like this season and a lot of things that we talked about have like put me into my place. So I have to be like, sometimes like I do have to take accountability for what I have done. Like I can't say, I want you to do this, and this, but I'm not giving what you're asking of me. I'm only worried about what you're telling me, what I'm telling you that I need from you. And then you're trying to be like, okay, let me, and then I'm still like, well, show me you even said that yourself. You was like, something like,
compromising.
Yeah, I don't, like, I'll be like, I think it has to do with me trying to be like in survival mode for so long. So I'm just like, I'm not finna sink. So I said this, and this is how I need it, and show me. But I gotta, take accountability for where I'm not stepping up to. You can't expect the person to only step up. And where's your steps? You can say you were this, I was this, and this, and this to you. But where am I growing at too? If I'm just holding you accountable for the things,
you can easily slip into a one-sided relationship.
That's where I feel
and it'll go from where this is one side on their part, but now you're the one.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful with that because that can create resentment and anger in a relationship where it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, it could create resentment. I think just for me, like the hard part is knowing when to work at it and when to not.
When to call it quit. Yeah, because sometimes people choose not to change. It's not they don't have the ability.
It's not that they don't have the ability.
Because it takes work. They're choosing
And so if you're so busy trying to hold on, thinking that you're being patient, thinking that you're giving them an opportunity or finding fault in what you did, then you're not holding them accountable. And so really you end up the one continuing to be hurt because you don't know when it's time to let go and when it's time to say, okay, I've done everything I could. Not saying that you were perfect, but you've done everything you could. And then knowing when it's time to say,
it's done,
it's not going to change.
Some people, too, are just predatory, right? So you have those that are just mass manipulators, extremely.
But calling out the
want
manipulation.
to change, because they would rather manipulate and lie.
Yeah. You ain't wrong about that.
A lying liar that lies.
A lying liar that lies. God, I can't stand a lying liar that lies. All right, so forgiveness came up in this season, especially forgiving without an apology. So if we're all being honest, where are you with forgiving even if they are not sorry or even if they're not apologetic? Working on it.
I love the honesty.
You know, yeah, I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
I can say that I'm trying. I look at it a little bit different now, but you know, I can't change. The switch can't turn overnight and say I'm that person. So yeah, I would say I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's leading from their perspective, just understanding the person in general, where they come from, and seeing why they run like that and why they don't feel comfortable having either honest conversations or their behavior.
When is your birthday?
June 12th. Gemini.
Oh, so you might flip. Geminis and Libras vibe very well. That's probably why you over here like, I love this lady.
It's understanding their perspective and putting yourself in their shoes. A lot of times we can only see it from their perspective. And recently I did go through a lot of things with family and friends, and I had to understand where are they coming from. With their feelings are valid, just as valid as mine, but unfortunately feelings don't run everything. You have to think about it somewhat logical and say, by me behaving like this, I'm acting childish, I'm not being understanding for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just understanding their perspective.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm learning. I think I'm growing, like Ashley said, but just in different aspects. I think when I think about like friends, family, random people, I've learned to forgive without an apology because I've accepted that they are who they are. But I will be honest and say, even within the confines of marriage, it's hard to do that for me. So I have to learn to tell that in my marriage, because you don't have that grace. I think because sometimes you expect I don't know why we have that deeper expectation for our partner sometimes. So when they disappoint us or you're frustrated, you kind of don't. When they apologize or don't apologize, it's like, well, I'm not messing with you until you say you're sorry.
Don't want to talk to you.
Sorry, it's like, well, why are you sorry? What'd you do? Because you want them to see if they understand what they did, but sometimes that's not a way to do that either. So I think it just depends on, I'm learning.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm doing better at forgiveness. Like I said, I have a problem with forgiving all the time. Not forgiving, with overly forgiving and overly, like y'all always used to say, like, you always giving people another chance or you always giving people a second chance. But it's just the way that my heart is. It doesn't really know how to hold a grudge. So I think as far as that, I am okay with that. I do feel like there's things where I'm just like, they did this, no, I ain't messing with them, but then I'm still messing with them, but like being genuine in it. Like, for example, if somebody does something and I know they had malice or they had ill intentions when they did it, that letting it go that day, like, that's them, that's their thing. Like, I'm working on truly just like giving them a fresh start tomorrow. Like, tomorrow we could start over. It could be a new day. Because before I would be like the next day, like if I see that same person, like if it's at work or something, like I don't even really want to talk to you or want you to look at me either. Like, why are you looking at me? Like, don't try to smile at me today. You know what you did yesterday. But
it's redirecting those negative thoughts.
Yeah, I'm redirecting.
They could be having a bad day or seeing it from their perspective.
And seeing it from their perspective. Like, sometimes like you could read somebody's face wrong. Yeah. And I'm like, ooh, they looked at me funny. But not doing that. I don't want to do that no more because they could be looking at me funny, or they could have had a bad day, or they could have just
going through something and they're kind of spacing out and kind of just thinking about it.
Yes, not jumping, making assumptions.
So that's really what I'm working on. But I think I'm doing okay.
You are. You I see improvement, girl.
I'm trying to improve. My voice is like going. So let's be real. This season touched on burnout, money, motherhood, and mental health. What feels the heaviest to you right now, and how are you managing it? I think what feels the heaviest for me right now, what you said, burnout, money, motherhood, and mental health. I would say money, because money is funny and change is strange, and not like it's something that's going to last, because these troubles never last always. It's just that there's so much that I want to do. And I'm used to doing everything that I want to do. And so when I'm in a space where I can't do what I want to do, I feel like Like that. So it's just like, it's not overwhelming. I like to say that I'm waiting for the money to hit my account, and it'll come and it'll get there. But yeah, really, it would have been there. But we're going on a cruise, and the ladies charged my card late. And so when she charged my card late, then it took money that I thought I had, and so now it's just kind of like, the kids are still talking about let's go get our eyebrows done, let's go get ice cream, let's go out for sushi, and it's like, do you got money? So
they broke best friends. They broke best friends.
I would say it's money right now, because right now money seems to be the focal point of everything. So that's what I would say.
For me, I would say the burnout is weighing the heaviest on me right now. So much stuff going on in my life and everybody's life that's calling me, talking about their life, and I'm the type of person who wears everybody's problems. So it's like, dang, I'm dealing with them, you, me, her, my stuff, your stuff, they stuff, like your stuff on my brain, my stuff. Like I feel like right now the burnout for me would be the heaviest, because I'm tired.
Like, what movie is that when she's like, can I get a week yet? like give me a week, okay? Yeah, that's what I think for me right now. I'm tired of carrying everybody's stuff and my stuff. So yeah, that would be the one for me.
For me, motherhood, because I have kids of so many different ages. And then in the high school, I have one grown kid, which that's a whole nother sector, trying to talk to your grown kid. But my high schooler, just him telling the truth or on little things that don't really matter, like, and his reaction, like, I thought you were going to yell at me. No one's going to yell at you.
Just tell the truth.
Yeah, just tell the truth. But he was in his social hour, so he's the social kid. He want to go 100 miles an hour. And then with the toddler running, and then my daughter, I'm like, woo, I got to have all this energy. You know, just balancing that aspect.
Not on top of your business.
Not on top of my business and being on 24/7, you know what I mean? And just being go, go, go. It's just balancing that and have a seamless balance and know when I got to bench myself, because I want to keep on going.
Yeah, you don't stop. Yeah. You pop your
I be like, what did you say? Energy drink, and I'm on.
Yeah, for me, I would think it's right now balancing mental health, definitely, and burnout. Actually, I just took a week this week. I just say I can't go to anything this week. I need a week to not have to rip and run, work, kids, go here. I need a week to not do that. It's because sometimes we put ourselves in what it is a fly or fight mode, literally, and it's prolonged stress period that we're putting our bodies in. We're constantly on the go, especially moms, you know, trying to show up for everybody. You be there for your significant other, your kids, all your different kids. They all have different needs. And then dealing with the guilt of not balancing every child's need.
Yes, it's
you know,
hard.
I have a 2-3-year-old, and he automatically gets more attention because he's young. You have to watch him. But then I have a 10-year-old who sometimes feels like he's not getting enough attention. So trying to schedule, even within the busyness, mom's done dates for him, because his love language is literally like quality time. And then you know, with your spouse, and then not feeling like, what's left for me outside of just sheer madness.
What really is
She's like, I hit the floor running.
What really is left for us, which brings me to the next topic, is as women, we're expected to be everything for everybody. It just comes naturally. How are you learning to show up for yourself without feeling guilty, or without feeling like, you know, you could be doing something else with that time?
Honestly, even with me, like, you know, feeling everybody's problem, I never felt guilty for being like, nope.
She do not feel guilty. She will go in the room and shut the door.
Absolutely not. I will do what I have to do and to get my time. I've never felt like, oh my God, my kid is this, because I love you and you should know that, because by the way I do everything for you, if you don't, if you don't know that by now, you will never, you know, so I've never worn that mom guilt for not, you know, being available, or, you know, if I need my time, I'm going to take it. I'm going to go to my room, close the door, and be like, leave me alone. Thank you. And then when you're done, you come out and you do what you're supposed to do. But I need that moment for you to leave me alone, and that's okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. Does that make, like, I don't know how y'all can be my time. But, you know, it is what it is. I have to have those moments, and I don't know what
I think for me, making time for myself, or making sure that I take some time for myself, is my workout. Like, I don't care about nothing else. I don't care what nobody doing. You
between the hours of 3 and 4, I'm going to my workout. I don't care who got, like, I truly do not care. Like, I'm going to take that hour for myself. And now it's kind of respected. And I think sometimes you just have to set the boundary at first.
Just do it.
You know what? At first, it was just kind of like, can you miss workout today? No, actually, I can't. This is the only thing I do for myself, and I'm going to go do my workout. And then after that, we can talk about whatever you need me to do. But between this time and that time,
Can't help you.
I can't help you. I can't figure out a problem. I can't do anything between this hour. That's all I want is this hour. So I think that's what I do for myself.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not gonna lie, I do a lot of pickup trips and Target trips, and I just when I be like, you don't need something from the house? I got this. I'll go out and I'll do shopping. Normally, too, workout that's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I'll either wake up before my kids or midday. I have to get that little hour in and just keep that committed because that's part of my lifestyle. But as far as that, I'm not gonna lie, I turn up the music on loud. I'll go get a coffee and I'm just singing, living my best life. And they're like, "Where'd you go?" I don't know. You need something else? Oh, you hungry? Let me go pick it up.
You.
Yes, that's my time.
That's my time. I know you love to go to Target.
I do. That's my
spot.
Target. I'm in Target. I was in
But
Target.
does that not feel like working to you? Like you're still on the
I'm by myself. No, girl.
in the mode?
No, because I'm not.
No, you go to Target for a purpose.
I don't. Target tells me what I need.
Just to go.
Just to go.
Just the vibe.
Just the vibe.
Because I'm like, that seems like you're still working and doing what you need to do for the house.
I am a go-go person, but I bench myself. Like, I don't have any expectations in there. I'll send a text, like, do they need something? But I'm in there shopping, looking at clothes or doing things.
Because for me, we can run out of toilet paper if I'm in my mode, and I'd be like, I don't care.
Oh, that's right. Hey, I'm the queen of pickup. I'm rolling through it. I'm picking it up. I'm always
time she was just like, well, I ate dinner over here. My house gonna be hungry. Like, if it was maybe like 6 or 7 over here and she ate dinner, she like, they got a problem now. I'm full.
Food already been taken out and everything.
See, for me, they
sometimes it's just like I don't want to work for the house. You know what I'm saying? You're always working for the house. That's why I wonder, like, when you're in there shopping, like, do y'all need something? That still works.
She said, I don't want y'all to accept me anyway.
I baby steps, girl. No, but my training is my time. So when I do train, I do take my time. I put my phone in my bag. I don't touch it. And then I really do zone out and focus and do what I love because that's part of.
I love my me time. I'll really shut down.
I gotta do it in increments.
Lights are off, and then I feel better. But go ahead, Tarnisha.
Honestly, that I'm under construction. I haven't learned how to do that, which is why I'm struggling.
You said your babies are about the same.
Yeah, he'll be 4 next month. My littlest guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is her way of getting away right now.
Yeah,
like she's so excited to be out without the kids. I gotta go.
That is a good step. Look at you. You're doing it.
Yeah, so you're taking baby steps, but you do need to do something for yourself, like, you know, to keep your mental together. Because if you're overworked and overwhelmed and underpaid, because this is a free job, you really just doing it for free, then you really you're not showing up in the full capacity that you could be for your kids and for your family. You know what I'm saying? So it is important to take that time for yourself so that you can be good, like, in a joyous spirit. If you working, running, so eventually it's going to be like, can you please stop talking to me?
Eventually,
and I don't even know why I said
the
that.
burnout.
Please leave me alone.
I find myself working late a lot. I can't.
I had to learn how to take a break.
Play the quiet game. My 2-year-old likes to talk.
Let's play the quiet game. Yeah, so make sure that you're taking time for yourself and just really, like,
and not get caring about it.
But even waking up earlier before the kids to get a little peace and quiet.
I try.
Don't even hold back. Just lights off.
Because I find myself getting up 30, 45 minutes early, talking about reading my Bible, eating my, and I'm so quiet. I'm like, I'm never gonna hear this.
I love getting up in the morning before the household gets up.
It's
so peaceful. It's like a peace that you never known. It's like the calm when they pull up. They will come outside.
No.
Talking about the car will come outside.
Sitting in a car when you pull up from anywhere, or even when you pull up to the store. Sometimes you just sit in the car for a minute. Like,
I cannot do that because I feel like I'm wasting time.
No,
I'm
because
doing something.
literally, how do they even know you're here? If you just pulled up.
Oh, mine know. My truck is out. They run right out. They know.
They will come. They will peek out the window.
I used to sit in my driveway at my old house. I used to sit in my driveway. They happen to come out after a while. Like, how long you been out here? An hour. I've been on the phone. They getting ready to leave out the house. Like, you home? Like, yeah. Not ready to talk yet. Not ready to answer 102 questions. Go about your way. Where you was going?
Don't mind me.
talked about faith and identity. How do you stay grounded in who you are when life is constantly changing?
The way that I stay grounded in who I am is I'm intentional when I get up in the morning. I do my 12-minute prayer. I don't talk to nobody before that. Like, first thing I do when I get up and use the bathroom in the morning, then I set my timer and I do my prayer. And that's my time to kind of just get my thoughts together, get my mind together, to really talk to God. And then I read my Bible for an hour a day. And it's really been shaping me to find, like, my identity in Christ, because we hear a lot about the Bible, and people tell us, and people have been known to say, oh, you are this in God, and you are this and that. But finding out for yourself really who you are, it hits different. When you're in the Bible and you're in the Word of God, the connection hits way different. And so now I find myself like being encouraged, or if I had a thought or something I didn't understand, like, it's being revealed to me. So I think me just really just being intentional about my time with God, being intentional about reading the Word is really rooting and grounding me in a space that I've never been in before.
I want to say for me, I think it was the checkout last year, and then to, like, on the journey, like, from getting baptized and doing all of that. I think that keeps me grounded and reminded. Like, when I checked out last year, when I was trying to, like, figure everything out and everything was on me, and then, you know, like, the switch was like, okay, I don't have to try to do it like that. So now realizing that, like, I'll get in a moment and I'll be like, I'm not finna worry about that.
I've noticed even more you depend on God more now. Like, before you used to be like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, I don't know how to do that, but now your talk is different. It's just like, God gonna take care of it.
I don't even know. Like, I can't even answer that question for you, but maybe God could.
Yeah.
Give me a day or two.
Right, let me tell you what God gonna do.
So I think that is what's keeping me grounded right now, because, like, literally, like I said, last year was a complete checkout. Like, a complete checkout. And then just now, I just know that, like, I can depend on God to answer or work.
Yeah.
So when I get into that almost about to check out, like, the check mark be right there, I'm like, okay, I got this. I know what I need to do to get through this, you know, moment. So, yeah.
For me, it was surrendering to God and really trusting the process and letting myself grow in it and not expecting me to know everything. And not just every day. I read my Bible app in the morning, and then I have a 52-week Bible. So it breaks out verses. And it started relating with my actual life when I was in church and other things. But it was taking time for that. I didn't set a prayer time because whenever I felt it, whether it was in the middle of the gym, I would just drop and start praying. But it's trusting his process and what he's doing. Even when stuff's a mess, I got to a point where I just start laughing because I'm like, it is what it is. It's going to work itself out. But not trying to control it and leaning on my own understanding, because I'm very stubborn. I'm like, I can do it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust you in this. If this is going to be what you want, then let it be.
Let it be.
I think for me, I was like, I would literally call crying, and then I'll, like, be like, yeah, but God.
But then he pulled through it just like that.
Not even, like, after things have changed. Like, remember I called you the other day, and I'm like, and this is happening to me, and then this is happening to me. But you know what? I know what's going on right now.
And the awareness of it, right? And it's important to have friends that are rooted and grounded, because she was going on, and I was just listening. And I never said a word. And I let her go, and she was crying, and she went from crying to say, but the devil, you know, she was working it out. Soon as she got her mind right, I said, you right, he is busy. Like, you know, sometimes you need somebody that's going to let you say what you need to say, and then help you to come back to...
Especially when you're moving into a new person and being patient with yourself and trusting them that the new version of you is better than the old version of you.
Because that 40-day fast, the devil was trying to pop me. He had it in for me.
Oh, no.
We had beef, serious beef.
What the devil? Go ahead.
I would say just being more, prayer, my word, and worship, to me, worship music, and finding time. I've been doing it, but not at, sometimes I fall off, but just having those moments to go, like, for a walk, even if it's like 15, 30 minutes, and just either listen to my Bible or really worship music really gets me through.
Yeah.
I probably lost my mind by now. It wasn't just for...
If it had not been for the worship music.
That's why I was listening to my Kirk Franklin, you know? Like,
in corners. Old school, like, stuff, like...
Kirk Franklin.
All my people say,
Down the street,
lately, I've been
down. Y'all need to bring it back.
Talk about some Yolanda, some Kirk, you know? Get going.
I know that's right. Open up my say something that people are not ready to hear, but they need to hear about that word, okay? Something that people are not ready to hear, but they need to hear. We'll start with you, Darnisha. And I'm spinning the wheel, believe it or not, and your word is about to come up. And it is one-sided relationships.
Oh, so one thing I have to say about that?
That people need to hear, but they aren't ready to hear.
Let it go.
Like Frozen.
Life's too short to be just taken advantage of.
Yeah. All right. That's. I know that's right.
Don't waste your good years.
Don't waste your good years.
No.
All right, Courtney.
What you got for me?
Next, I got for you soft life.
Soft life?
Uh-huh.
All right. Letting yourself be soft and just girly and not try to be the hard, independent woman I run stuff. Type of personality. You know.
You can't do it all, huh?
You can't do everything. You have to trust people to be able to do it too.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay. Trust people to do it too. You can't
Yes.
do it all. I'm listening. I hear you. Heard.
Yes.
Heard. Okay, Ashley. You got. Did you only have one to let go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I removed that. It came back up. Okay.
Maybe she got something to say
No,
about
I don't got nothing to say. I don't got nothing to say about it. You don't like now.
All right, you got healing.
That it is required. You got to heal. You got to shed some leaves if you got to heal. Whatever you got to do, get it right. Does that make Got it.
Yeah, okay, that was good. I got boundaries. What I would say that you guys need to hear, but you don't want to hear, is that you need to set healthy boundaries for yourself and not bend on those boundaries, because those boundaries are also there to protect you. So even when you feel like you're so close to someone, or, oh, that's my friend, or whatever, these boundaries are going to protect you so that you don't end up in a situation where you actually hurt your own feelings. So boundaries keep you from hurting your own feelings. So whatever you need to do to set those boundaries, set them.
Yes.
That's what I would say. All right, it's been a great conversation. Thank you, ladies, for coming on the episode. We definitely gonna have y'all back for season 2, because this was really some tea. What do you want to say?
I want to say that the season has been great. I really enjoyed this season. I really enjoy learning from what I even had to say, because I have a problem with really listening to anybody, let alone myself. So just hearing, listening back to it, I'm really, really, really excited for season 2, our topics and everything.
Yes, we got some hot stuff coming for season 2. So if you got behind and you missed the episode, go back, catch up on season 1. Even if you need to rewatch it again, it's a lot of little nuggets that you could get the second time around. But thank y'all for rocking with us. And until season 2,
Peace out.
we out.
For anything, we keep it real, we keep it true. Even when I don't agree with everything you do, every moment lift it high. Just 2 queens talking live. I know that I can call on you when I have no one else. You